So 2025 should mark the return of Elaine Thompson-Herah to the big league. And of course, she's still the fastest woman alive, the double Olympic champion. As a matter of fact, I don't need to introduce who Elaine Thompson-Herah is. But if I should sum it all up, I would have to say that Elaine is the best that we have seen in our time in terms of sprinting. And I'm not saying she's the greatest, I'm saying that she is the best. So I don't know if that's making any sense, but 2025 and Elaine Thompson-Herah is expected to return to the big league, as I would have stated. And guess what? I am super nervous for her, but at the same time, I am excited because I'm thinking of the possibilities of what a fit and healthy Elaine Thompson-Herah is capable of doing. And currently, as we know, Elaine has taken the advice of her former coach Stephen Francis to go overseas to train. And this was a recommendation made specifically by Stephen Francis because he's of the opinion that Elaine Thompson-Herah can get the specialized treatment that she needs to do well and to be in the best possible shape for the track and field season. So persons would have seen her in training over there, and yes, Elaine's camp is tightly on where she's training, but persons know, and it has been revealed on quite a few occasions, so obviously it's not so much of a secret, but that's beside the point. But I'm thinking though that this year will be a very special year for Elaine Thompson and for Jamaica. Now, there are so many different dynamics to what is happening in track and field right now that it promises to be an exciting one. It's going to be a real fight because let's be honest, we have Shericka Jackson, we have Shakira Richardson, Julian Alfred is now in the mix, and of course we are still not writing Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce off because if she is healthy, we know that Shelly-Ann still has the potential to do some really crazy things on the track. So there's so much happening in female sprinting right now, and it's not even funny. It's probably tougher than what the males are experiencing out there right now. The competition right now in female sprinting, I think it runs way deeper than the males. I am of that opinion. I could be wrong, but it does feel like that to me. So Elaine coming back in 2025 has her work cut out for her right from the very start. Looking at the national championships, we know it's going to be fire. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Elaine Thompson-Herah, Shericka Jackson, Tia Clayton, possibly Tina Clayton. What about Brianna Liston? And the possibilities are just crazy right now. So from the get-go, Elaine's work is cut out. But as I've said earlier, if Elaine is in good shape, if she's possibly at 80 or 90%, I think that is good enough to beat most of the sprinters that are out there right now. The 10:54 sprinter we are talking about, 80-90% of that is good enough to put her on the podium as things are standing currently. And that's no joke. Remember the last Olympic final, I think Julian Alfred won that with 10:72. And that's just miles behind the possibility of what Elaine Thompson-Herah can do. The World Championship before that, I think Shakira Richardson won with 10:65, which would have been a better time. But yet still, Elaine has been there and has done that on more than one occasion. So we know if Elaine is, let's say, 90% there, we are all going to be in for a very serious showdown. But if I can get 2 more good seasons out of Elaine Thompson-Herah before she retires, I would be super satisfied. Because what she would bring to the table, I'm telling you, it would be something to talk about. But my only regret though is that Elaine did not go back to Stephen Francis. Even to this very day, I believe if she goes back there, she can be one of the most dangerous sprinters of 2025. I am totally sold on that. Listen man, Stephen Francis has something that he's doing over there at the MVP that's just transforming sprinters. It's clear, it's obvious that he's doing something and he's doing it right. We saw what the MVP did with Shericka Jackson over a couple of seasons. We saw also what they did with Tia Clayton over a couple of seasons also. We saw where he took Elaine Thompson-Herah from previously. We would have seen the work with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and so many other sprinters. We are seeing it with Kishane Thompson right now. Just a few seasons with Kishane Thompson, and right now the man is one of the most serious threat or contenders in the race to the 100 meter sprint throne. So that formula that Steven has over there and is using, or should I say the formula that the MVP is using, it is something that is working, and it has done miracles for many sprinters. And of course, Elaine Thompson-Herah, they brought her to record-breaking form. And there are people who believe that the records that are on the book, which are held by Flojo, there are people who think that they are fake, and that Elaine is the rightful world record holder in the 100 meter. And probably right now, Shericka Jackson would be the rightful world record holder in the 200 meter. But prior to Shericka Jackson holding that, it would have been Elaine Thompson holding both the 100 and 200 meter records, based on the questionable circumstances that surround those world records. And I just have to say that those records will not be taken away from the books. So it would have been great to see Elaine Thompson overall those performing in a legitimate way, or should I say in an unquestionable way, that no one could doubt that she's actually the world record holder. We know many people today think that Elaine is over and done with, but I'm hoping that she can come back. I'm hoping that she can return this year and silence some of the naysayers. She's a fighter. She's a champion. And of course, champions rise and fall. They have their down moments. There are days when other champions in other sports who fell from grace and came to nothing, and then they rose back to prominence again. So I think it's possible in the case of Elaine Thompson. Of course, it's harder in track and field, but it's still very possible. Elaine Thompson for 2025, I'm voting that Elaine will be back, and we'll be seeing her at the 2025 World Championships, and it promises to be a special one. So I'm just saying to all the fans of Elaine Thompson, just drop down in the comment section and just send some support for your girl Elaine, because I get the feeling that this year is Elaine's year. So we're looking for the fire, we're looking for the flames. 2025, Elaine's return.